it's very easy. It's to feel like you are doing a whole lot, to feel like you don't have time. There are a lot of individuals who feel like they don't have time, or feel like life's so hard and they work so incredibly hard, and oftentimes that can be very true, but the majority of the time those individuals, it's relative. It's like money, you know what I'm saying? If you've never had a lot of money, if you've never made a lot of money before in your life, and you make $500 in 1 week, you might think that's a lot of money. Or you make, to someone else, $500 might be what they're spending tonight on drinks, you know what I'm saying? Or the first time you make $10,000 in one day or whatever, you might be like, oh my God, I made $10,000 in one day. To someone else, $10,000, they might have been hoping to make $100,000 that day, and that $10,000 might be a letdown. So it's relative. Money is relative. Just like time is relative. That's the greatest example. You know what I'm saying? When you're a little kid, when you're 3 years old, and Christmas just passed, and they say, how long till Christmas? And you say, well, another year, a whole another year. That's like a quarter of your life. That seems like forever. But then once you start creeping up, getting older in life, once you're 70 years old, you know what I'm saying? A year probably seems very fast, very quick. I can tell you from my age, I'm 36 years old, and a year, although the more you're hustling, the harder you're hustling. If you're sacrificing and trying to make that money, the harder you're hustling, the faster that year can go. You got to be careful that you don't get stuck in that trap forever. You have to live life. You do have to live life. So it's just, I've known so many people. It's relative. It is relative. So you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zones in order to make it seem not as bad, because you are experiencing things that are much, much worse. You know what I mean? And so therefore, these things that you used to think were bad are no longer so bad. So it's just, it's exposure. It's constant exposure. It's the same for things that make you anxious, usually. Things that you are afraid to do. You go and do them. You push yourself to do them. The more and more you do them, the more comfortable you feel doing them. You know what I mean? Say you're scared to go scuba diving, and then you go scuba. Okay, now this doesn't apply to everything, of course. You know what I mean? But the more you expose yourself to it, the better you deal with it, usually. The same goes for working hard. You think you're working real hard now, get as much sleep as you can. Push yourself to work harder. Unless you're literally only sleeping 6 hours, if you're barely getting that 6 hours a day, and the rest of your time you're working, okay, then you're pushing it to the absolute maximum. You don't need to go much further than that, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do, you might have some problems, health problems. You don't want to stress yourself. You don't want to push your body too hard, of course. It depends on the jobs that you're doing. You know what I mean? But make that money, push through it, save it. What's up? It's all relative. You can do it. We can do this. It used to seem like a lot of money to me. I used to think about $1 million and think, wow, that seems like a lot of money to me. Now it seems like a small amount of money to me. I used to watch a movie, and they would talk about, oh, we're going to get $50,000 for doing this, and there would be all this crazy stuff about 50 grand. That seems tiny to me now. I used to, the greatest example is movies, because the bar at which someone sets a movie, something in a movie like of value, like, oh, this person is, we're going to do this heist and we're going to make $1 million or something, like, and that's like, there's so much going on. The perfect example I can think of that really is Layer Cake, if y'all ain't seen that movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, here's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A buffer. I'm about to tell you something from the movie. so if you don't want to hear it, don't listen. In the movie, this whole movie happens over a batch of drugs, right? Where lots of people get killed, a bunch of crazy stuff happens. All these people are acting like they got to go through these great lengths to get this one batch of ecstasy from this place that made it in Europe somewhere, right? Crazy stuff that happens for this one batch. At the end of the movie, it shows that they're still making it, you know what I mean, the place. And that was just one tiny little piece of this huge mountain of stuff. So it's like, to all those people that were losing it, going nuts over that batch of drugs, you know what I'm saying, for the money, and killing people and getting killed, Yeah, I mean, to them, that was like such a huge amount of money. It was worth that. Totally worth that. I mean, I'm sure to the person who owned that place, the guy making all that stuff that it showed, to him, that was probably that's nothing. You know what I mean? That's one day's work. So it's relative. Push yourself to the max. Be safe. Be safe out there in the streets. Be safe on your health as well and your mental state. I wish y'all nothing but the best. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, show the channel some love. The nice comments have been very, very appreciated. You guys rock very much. Until next time, my peeps. Peace.